Australia may transfer its fighter jets to Ukraine. How good are they? Ukraine began the war with 56 fighter jets. Now that number is growing by the month. Poland was the first NATO member to send MiG-29s. The US and other G7 allies have agreed to send F-16s. Even Australia may soon contribute its F-18 Hornet fighters. Canberra is in talks with American and Ukrainian partners. The US owns the technology, so Washington would need to approve the transfer. Reportedly, it's favorably disposed to the idea. The Royal Australian Air Force has around 40 Hornets. They will be replaced by F-35 fifth-generation fighter jets. As of now, they are scheduled to be either scrapped or sold. This prompts a logical question. Are the retired jets still any good? The McDonnell Douglas F-18 Hornet is considered an elite strike fighter. American aviators learned to fly it after basic training. It was a mentally and physically challenging program. The class of trainees would do 300 hours of classwork. They'd spend at least 300 hours more in simulators. The U.S. Navy conceived the F-18 in the 1970s. It was meant to replace both the F-4 and A-7 in one design. The Hornet was the first aircraft with carbon fiber wings. It was also the first tactical jet to use digital fly-by-wire flight controls. Hornets began active duty in January 1983. By 1986, those on board the USS Coral Sea had flown their first combat mission. Past planes could only be configured as either a bomber or a fighter, but the Hornet can fill both roles simultaneously. This capability has made it the mainstay of the carrier air wing. The Hornet has four main variants: a two-seater, an improved fighter, a reconnaissance jet, and a night fighter. The F-18 Hornet is 56 feet long. The jet has a top speed of over 1.3 Mach. Its twin engines have built-in redundancy. Each can generate 18,000 pounds of thrust. It's 1/4 of a thrust on the rocket that sent the Mercury spacecraft into orbit. The Hornet is quite maneuverable. It can turn on a very tight radius and perform rapid rolls, but the maneuverability takes a physical toll on the pilot. The average pilot feels almost 15,000 pounds of downward pressure on his body. One of the Hornet's greatest strengths is its reliability. It contains 50% fewer parts than the F-14. Fewer parts means the plane is easier to maintain. The Hornet can deploy missiles like the AIM-7 Sparrow. It can also carry rockets, bombs, and decoys. Over the years, the Hornet has seen a lot of action. In the 1991 Gulf War, the U.S. deployed almost 200 fighter jets. They shot down 2 Iraqi MiG-21s in air-to-air combat. In 2001, Hornets provided non-stop battlefield coverage in Afghanistan. They were used in Bosnia and Kosovo. In the 1990s, the final Navy F-18 deployment dates back to 2019. By now, it has become a legacy aircraft. Sure, there are more modern fighters out there, but the F-18 Hornet is still a reliable bird. It may not be the best at any one thing, but it can handle a variety of tasks well. So, what will be the Hornet's next stop? Scrapyard or war?